I was on the road touring for 7 years. Growing up, getting wiser, more experiences, and meeting different people, learning more about myself, and just really establishing who I am as a person outside of myself as an artist. I wish I didn't wait so long to put some new music out, but you know, life was happening, and I think that's necessary for you to be able to be inspired to write some new stuff, is to live life. I don't have a favorite song from the re-releases, from that batch, because they're all my favorites, and that's why I wanted to add it to the album, the re-release. Those were songs that I had written and recorded back when I was writing and recording the other songs. But for whatever reason, they didn't make the album. I think some of those songs were songs that I was not really sure about. Maybe they didn't fit the aesthetic of the album. I'm sure other artists can relate to the fact that we cut a lot of records from the finals. And as I've been listening to those records over the years, they fit perfectly. They should have been on the original. Well, the re-release is different because, of course, it has new songs on there. It's also been remixed and remastered by an incredible sound engineer by the name of Jerry's. Also, it has a new cover.
As far as the cover, when I first saw it, the first thing that stood out to me, honestly, was the fashion. Again, so if he's already coming different musically, he's gonna always come different visually as well. And I felt like the fashion choice was very specific to him, wanted to be different. He wasn't gonna look like everybody else and do what everybody else was doing. And that's what I really also appreciate about JaVonté. And I think it's more about his journey through music. It made me think of like a cowboy thing. Like, he's from California, he's out in California doing this music thing, and it kind of makes you feel like he's like an artist in the Wild West, you know what I'm saying? Like a cowboy just trying to make it, you know, through this journey of music, of the music industry or the indie music realm, whatever. And that's what it made me think of. It made me think of the Wild West and just someone journeying through that.
I hated the original cover. I hated it. Initially, it was an idea that I had to be in the wilderness. At the time, the poncho thing was very trendy. So, you know, I wanted to incorporate like a wilderness cowboy vibe. When I released the album, I got a lot of flack for it. People thought I was doing country, which I understand now. And they were just kind of thrown off by the concept of the cover. So with this new cover, I wanted to bring in a different concept that kind of related more to the theme of the album, which is Where Have You Been? Which is basically about a person finally coming into themselves, finally finding their sound. For me, it was finding my sound, finding my voice. So as you can see, I'm looking at myself in the reflection, and the reflection is enjoying the moment, enjoying his flowers, enjoying, you know, the love that he has been shown, which I appreciate from you all. And yeah, I wanted to bring that concept to life in a more direct way. And hopefully it translates better than the first album cover. I think the meaning of the album has stayed the same in the idea that it's about someone finally coming into themselves, but also I've evolved as a person. So I think the album theme resonates with me even more than it did back then for different reasons. Back then it was more about finding my sound musically and finally becoming an artist, because back then I was trying to like get placements for other artists and try to write for people, and I wasn't really focused on my artistry. Now the theme is more about me coming into myself as a man, as a human being, being comfortable in my skin, being more confident, being more focused on what I know and what I love, and just standing on what I believe now. So it has stayed the same, but it has evolved because I've evolved.
When I listen to Where Have You Been by JaVonté, I feel euphoric. That was perfect. I did not even plan for that. But JaVonté has always had a really magical way of painting a picture with his voice and coloring the imagery, you know, with his approach and how he feels in the track and his melodies. And that is what has always grabbed me. And Where Have You Been specifically to be like the opening track of the album, it's just like, I can't, sometimes you don't even have the words, but it's just that thing that just like pulls your heartstrings, and you can tell that it's music that's made from the soul and for the soul. And I think, you know, anybody that is listening to music for a feeling will feel it every time. You know what I'm saying? It's relatable. It's something that everybody is desiring. Like, you know, we've all experienced it. Like that sweet spot in between, like feeling lost, but now you're found. Like I was just, you know, aimlessly walking through life, you know, not necessarily looking for a thing. And then it hit me unexpectedly. And now, you know, it's like, I wasn't looking for this, but now that you're here, like I think this is what I've been missing. A friend of mine had introduced me to JaVonté's music. He played this song and I'm like, who is this? I need more. I need the entire album right now. Like, give it to me. And so then he like played it start to finish, and I was like, I'm about to download this entire album to my iTunes like right now. Like, where's the rest of his music? I need it. Like, I was literally obsessed. I was like, this is one of my fave artists now. Like, the vibe of his music, the vibe of his voice, like, is just so beautiful. And it's truly like something that was like a segue into like my new journey of music and just the vibe and the feel that I wanted to, you know, reach and move on to. So truly kudos, because baby, that's the one.
That's how I want people to feel. I want people to still feel those emotions when they listen to the album, including the new songs. Like, there's a song called Used to Be, and it's pretty much about holding on to things that don't serve us anymore and needing to let go. So. I'm just excited to give y'all some new sounds, some new stuff to tag me in on Instagram. Yeah. Working on some new music. I'm really excited about it because it's a sound that I have been kind of dreaming about doing for a long time. It's not something that you would normally hear me on, but I think you would appreciate it. Hopefully you will. I'm sure you will, because it's fire. I feel like this album was a great era for me. You've all shown me a lot of love on it, and I really appreciate it. And I wanted to give you some flowers for giving me some flowers. That's part of the theme of the cover. And yeah, I wanted to show you some love by adding some new music to it, kind of making a stamp of it as I move into another era of music, and really say thank you to you for just showing this album so much love. You were sitting at a keyboard and you were adding some synth to the truth. I enjoyed it. Another person who did some covers was Alec Walls, my boy Alec, and he actually did two. He did one for Where Have You Been and The Truth. And of course, he can sing his face off.
Leave your lips, you're a trip. You're nothing I wanted. You're mine, you're poor, my dear. What you say?
And he rewrote it, so that was amazing, because that's something that I really respect with artists, is the ability to write and flip songs. Because I love to do that with other people's songs. I like to rewrite stuff and add to it, kind of put my own twist on it, and that's what he did, and it was super fire. I think the song that was most difficult for me to readdress during this re-release process would probably be Start Over. And I think that's because, I mean, even though the song is talking about a relationship and not wanting to have to like relearn somebody new, I think for me, starting over was a big thing during the pandemic. And just relearning things. Really having time to sit and think about what's important and what's not. Evaluating relationships with different people, whether it's romantic or platonic or family. Starting over is hard, especially with relationships. Rekindling is hard, even when you're getting back with someone who you were dating, or becoming friends with someone who you weren't friends with for a while. It's hard because you gotta relearn. You gotta relearn them. You gotta learn what they like, what they don't like. You're a new person. They're a new person. Are y'all compatible anymore? Is the new people that you become compatible with each other? Like, all that shit is sometimes difficult to navigate through. So I think that was really a thing for me to have to process when listening to that song again, because it became more than just a relationship song. Free to Roam. I think that song is kind of my mood. Just like, if that's how you feel, please, by all means, do you. You know what I mean? We are not obligated to each other. We don't have to be tied to each other. We are here to live our lives. We are here to learn our lessons and get what we need to get.